Thank you very much, Jason. I feel bad for Bill Mantell. He literally just left as you were talking about him. Thank you very much. And on behalf of the Board of Directors, I just want to thank you for all of the hard work that you put in for the organization, particularly on this policy paper. I think it's a great step forward for us. Thank you for driving it. I believe now, yes, if I've got this straight. First of all, time check. I think we are on schedule to get you out of here at 9:20. That's our goal. So I think we're doing well. So quick time check. And it's my pleasure now to introduce the Community Service Awards. Imagine what could be accomplished if people spent less time worrying about who got the credit. Louis Barreto said that to me years ago, and he told me it was a Nelson Mandela quote, but I have been all over Google and I can't find any way to credit that to Mandela. So I think it's actually a Louis Barreto quote, and it sums him up absolutely perfectly. Dr. Barreto has a quality that very few leaders possess. He understands the need to bring people together and to work towards a common goal. Mandela called that leading from behind, and it is a skill that requires big ambitions and humble intentions. We are honoring Louis Barreto tonight for his contribution to youth science education, his devotion to public health, and to vaccine and science policy. His professional and volunteer efforts have made our province a better place to live. But Louis' community is global, and his contributions go beyond our province in a series of concentric rings. As the first epidemiologist in the Northwest Territories, he helped lead Haemophilus influenza B trials in Inuit and Icelandic populations, where he helped eliminate Hib disease. As head of clinical, medical, and regulatory affairs at Sanofi Pasteur, he developed and commercialized a cellular pertussis vaccine and combination vaccines for children, adolescents, and adults in Canada and in countries around the world. For over a decade, he pursued the development of those vaccines to be used during pregnancy to protect the newborn. Through that work, Louis became a trusted industry colleague to international public health investigators and to policymakers. As a medical doctor and a Master of Science in Community Medicine and Epidemiology, Louis' training and experience spanned from St. John's Medical College in Bangalore, the Mahatma Gandhi Institute, to the Ross Institute at the London School of Hygiene, and to here at the University of Toronto. Because of his passion for immunization in the developed and the developing world, his expertise has been called upon by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for its Decades of Vaccines and its Saving Lives at Birth initiatives, USAID, UNICEF, Gavi, Health Partners International of Canada, and Research Canada. Louis has served on many Canadian academic committees, advisory boards, and boards of directors, and he currently volunteers on 5 boards and advises the McMaster University Masters of Science Global Health Program, the Public Health Agency of Canada Influenza Research Network, and is a member of the NSERC Private Sector Advisory Board and the March of Dimes of Canada. He is actively involved in helping promote new vaccine technologies as special advisor to the vaccine program, Human Health Therapeutics at the National Research Council. In this capacity, he is involved with the Federal Vaccine Innovation and Development Task Force with a focus on new adjuvants and biomarker initiatives, developing a Haemophilus influenza A vaccine for North American populations, and supporting the development of monoclonals and vaccines for Ebola. I had the privilege of working with Louis for many years at Sanofi. He is a great friend, a mentor, and the most caring person I know. We don't need to imagine what could happen if people spent less time worrying about who gets the credit. We just need to follow Louis' lead. And on behalf of LSO, it's my honor to present Louis with the Community Service Award.
Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you for that very kind introduction. And it is indeed an honor to receive this award from the Life Sciences Ontario, and a great pleasure to be presented with it by a longtime colleague and friend. Someone who's so passionate about the work of the Life Sciences Ontario. And in fact, it is indeed a pleasure and a privilege to be recognized for this work by such a wonderful organization. Before I go on, I would like to acknowledge and congratulate my fellow recipients this evening: John Oliver, Deb Stark, Christine Bayette, and Shayna Kelly from Exogenics. What an amazing contribution. LSO's vision for a vibrant life sciences sector that leads economic growth and job creation in Ontario while providing solutions to the biggest social challenges facing the province and the world is the one I have always shared, and one that has driven much of my work in life sciences sector over the last 3 decades or so. When Jeffrey Graham, who is here this evening, along with Alfred Page and John Gowdy and many others in this room, started the Toronto Biotechnology Initiative in 1989, I suspect even they would not have been able to predict what a great organization was in the making, and ultimately grew into Life Sciences Ontario from TBI's first publication of the Safe and Responsible Growth and Regulation of the biotech industry in 1989, to the great breadth of work in industry engagement, government engagement and partnerships, and education of young future innovators carried out by LSO today. LSO is truly an integral part of Ontario's and Canada's innovation landscape. I'm so pleased to have my wonderful wife, Lorraine, and my sons, Rohit and Rahul, here with me this evening. With their incredible encouragement and support, I have over the last 30 years had the privilege of spending time in academia, in government, including in the Canadian Arctic, in case you thought this was cold, in industry with Connaught Laboratories and its successor companies, including Sanofi Pasteur, and with many NGOs. I have also been very fortunate to have worked with and continue to work with many philanthropic organizations in Canada and globally, and on many boards and advisory panels from whom I keep learning. If I may, I'd like to acknowledge a few colleagues from some of these organizations. My colleagues from Sanofi Pasteur in Canada and globally, from whom I've learned a lot, including Mark Lavonen, the president and CEO of the organization, Andrea Spindell from March of Dimes of Canada, Ryan Wiley from SHI Consulting and Research Canada, Jeffrey Graham of BLG, whom I mentioned earlier. Many of these are here this evening and have been wonderful partners and supporters of the life sciences sector. I'll be remiss if I don't recognize the contribution to the LSO that Lon Meikle, Ellen Odette, Russell Williams, Matt Buist, and all these individuals have contributed. And of course, right now, Jason, under your leadership and Paul Lucas's chairmanship of this wonderful organization. Thank you very much. I'm also incredibly pleased to currently be a special advisor to the vaccine program of the Human Health Therapeutics with the National Research Council of Canada, a research and technology organization where so much excellent discovery and innovation in life sciences takes place, which through its work has saved and continues to save so many lives all over the world. I'm delighted to have Dr. Jim Richards at our table joining us from the National Research Council this evening, one of the world's finest glycobiologists I've had the pleasure of knowing for over 30 years. Through the diverse involvements I have been fortunate enough to have been a part of over the course of my career and the countless individual interactions with people and from all walks of life, that they have afforded me a long-held belief of mine which has been truly solidified, that life sciences research and innovation is so incredibly crucial through a variety of public and private partnerships and the development of furtherance of other strategic relationships in the life sciences sector, we can harness our innovations both to grow the bioeconomy, create jobs, as Jason pointed out, earlier today, and create high-value jobs, and also vastly improve the lives of health of Canadian citizens, and indeed citizens of the global community of which we are all part of. One of my favorite quotes is by the American author, poet, and educator Henry Van Dyke. He once said, "There is no loftier ambition than merely to stand high in the world. It is to stoop down and to lift the rest of the world just a little bit higher." Through my various involvements over the course of my career thus far, I have in my own way been able to try to work towards that goal, and for that I feel very, very lucky. Thank you very much for this honor, LSO.